In this episode of Restore It, Antonio continues to rebuild the E30 M3 with new and restored parts from the previous episodes. To stop newly painted parts like the bumper from getting damaged, they were stored on the car and attached loosely to make them easily removable. A new oil cooler was the first thing to be installed, along with some trim pieces and cable management clips. The next small detail was the rear badge placement. With information from the internet, Antonio used masking tape and calipers to make sure it was in exactly the correct position before sticking it in place. With that done, the leftover adhesive from the old rear window trim clips needed to be removed before the new ones could be added along with the trim pieces themselves. After a lot of satisfying clicks, they were in and it was time to move on to the rear wheel housing covers, which needed both rear wheels removing to be installed. Before we carry on, I want to thank Get Roman once again for supporting the channel and sponsoring this episode. Quite worryingly, erectile dysfunction is more common than you might think. A whopping 52% of men over the age of 40 experience ED at some point. What's worse is roughly 75% of those guys don't seek treatment. That's why Get Roman has made it easy to chat with experts online. With Roman, you can get medical care for ED from the comfort and privacy of your own home, so you can handle everything online in a convenient, discreet manner. Getting started is simple. Just go to getroman.com/restore and complete an online visit. If your expert decides that the treatment would be appropriate, they can prescribe genuine medicine that can be delivered in discreet packaging right to your door with free 2-day shipping. And if you click my link at the top of the video description, you'll get $15 off your first order of ED treatment. So come on lads, go talk to the experts. ED can be a tough one to tackle, but it's really important to get checked out, and with Get Roman, it's easy. Thanks to Get Roman for supporting the channel. Let's get back to Antonio and the M3. So this air intake pipe that goes to the MAF had a snap bolt stuck in one of the threaded holes that needed to be removed and then the hole re-tapped. Once fixed, it could then be installed along with more trim pieces, one very large one and some in the front left wheel arch. It's funny how one fuse box cover can ruin an entire engine bay. Antonio purchased a new one, and what a night and day difference it makes. Next was the washer expansion tank and the rear lights. All of the necessary bits for the boot lid to close properly were then screwed and bolted in before giving it its first test since it was removed. With the boot closing as it should, the spare wheel was installed before the front right was removed to install that side of the wheel arch trim parts. Next was the rear bumper and all of its trim pieces, all of which were added before the bumper was installed and aligned for the final time. Antonio has told me he's going to replace all of these trim parts, so I imagine the bumper is going to come off once again. The wiring for the indicators was pulled through before the bumper was attached and bolted in place. Antonio purchased new door vapour weather seals for both front doors. A small rectangle was cut to make way for the door handle and a few other bits before the door cards could then be fitted, along with the grab handles and smaller trim parts. Next, the sound deadening for the firewall and transmission tunnel were installed, along with new clips from BMW. With that in place, the engine bay harness could then be sorted out and the relays and terminals put in their place. Much like the bumpers, the fan and the map were fitted temporarily until the engine and transmission are ready to go in. Finally, the coolant expansion tank and some plastic covers, one of which is going to be replaced with a new one, were fitted. And that about wraps up the progress Antonio made in his last visit to the workshop. There's still a load more to do, and as soon as it gets done, I'll make the episodes and get them uploaded. Before I go, I'll just let you know that I've found a new workshop in the UK, and I'll be making the move very soon. You might have to bear with me whilst I make that move, but I'm trying to get ahead of myself to keep the content coming. Either way, thanks for watching this episode, and I'll see you next time.